They believed humans were just legends. Until 10,000 dreadnoughts appeared, the galaxy was quiet. Most worlds were peaceful, and most races lived without fear. The Alliance of Species, a council made of many different creatures, controlled almost all the known space. They traded, shared knowledge, and sometimes fought small wars, but nothing could shake their belief in their own power. Among them, one story was always told, a story they all believed. Humans were only a myth. No one had ever seen a human, and most records that mentioned them were old and incomplete. The council called them legends, and everyone laughed at the idea that humans had once existed. In the middle of the Alliance's capital, a young alien officer named Varen watched a screen in silence. He was different from most of his kind. He liked history and old records, things that others ignored. Today, he had found something curious. It was an ancient star map, cracked and worn, showing a system far at the edge of known space. A name on the map caught his attention. Earth, it said. The Council had dismissed Earth as a story long ago, but Varen felt a strange sense of curiosity. He could not explain it. He studied the map for hours, tracing the paths of old ships and looking for evidence. There were small notes in a language no one remembered. The translation was difficult, but one phrase repeated again and again. Humans, the children of survival. Varen frowned. No one in the Alliance spoke of survival in this way. Most races assumed they were always strong. Humans, if they ever existed, seemed to be different. They were weak and short-lived, according to the records, yet they had built ships and settlements on many worlds. How could that be possible? Varen wanted answers. He went to the Council archives, a massive building filled with records and data crystals. Most of the Council members ignored these old files. They were busy with trade, diplomacy, and small conflicts. Varen, however, moved carefully through the quiet halls, searching for more mentions of humans. He found stories of humans fighting impossible odds, of their ships traveling far and never returning, of their leaders who were remembered as wise and brave. But the records were fragmented, and the Council had long decided that humans were gone, leaving only myths behind. Meanwhile, far at the edge of known space, something stirred. Sensors on a distant station picked up strange signals. They were faint at first, but steady. The signals did not match any known language or technology. Lieutenant Zara, the officer in charge of the station, stared at the screen in confusion. "It's like nothing we have seen," she said. Her voice trembled slightly because no one knew if this was a sign of life or a trap. The signals were not dangerous, but they were persistent. Back on the Council capital, Varen received an encrypted message from a deep space probe he had sent years ago. The probe was supposed to survey distant regions, far beyond the Alliance's borders. No one expected it to return, and yet here was a response. The message was simple, almost too simple, coordinates to a hidden location. Varen's heart raced. The message used the old human language. Only humans had ever used this language. Everyone else in the Alliance had forgotten it. He rushed to the Council chamber to show the message. The Council laughed at first. "You are imagining things," said Elder Torin, a large, tentacled alien with many eyes. "Humans are gone, they never existed. These are old codes from forgotten satellites." But Varen insisted. "The message is real, the language is correct, we cannot ignore this." Some younger Council members were curious but cautious. No one wanted to admit that they might have been wrong for thousands of years. Meanwhile, on the station at the edge of space, Lieutenant Zara decided to investigate. She sent small probes toward the source of the signal. The probes transmitted back strange images, showing ships unlike any the Alliance had built in centuries. They were large, very large, and made with precision. The technology was unfamiliar, yet advanced. Zara sent the data to the Council, hoping someone would understand, but the images only caused confusion. "It is impossible," one Council member said. "Nothing that large could exist in this region. Nothing like this could be made." Varen studied the data. He realized that if the signals and the ships were real, they were from humans, but humans had disappeared thousands of years ago. If these ships were humans, then the stories of their weakness were lies. Their legend as a small, forgotten race was wrong. Humanity had survived, hidden, and had grown far beyond what anyone in the Alliance could imagine. At the same time, strange events began on border worlds. Small fleets sent to investigate were found abandoned. Ships drifted in space with no life signs, but systems were intact. Messages left on communication channels were in human language. They did not threaten, but they warned. "Do not assume humans are gone," one message read. Another simply said, "We watch." Panic began to rise. The council had never faced a threat like this because no one believed the threat existed. Varen wanted to speak at the council, but Elder Torin refused. "You are chasing ghosts," Torin said. "We have no time for myths." But Varen was determined. He knew the truth, and he knew the galaxy could not ignore it. "Legends can become real," he said quietly, "and if we ignore them, we will be unprepared." As weeks passed, the signals grew stronger. Ships moved closer to the edge of known space. Zara's station recorded more of them. The ships were huge, larger than any dreadnoughts in the Alliance fleet. Their shapes were angular and simple, but they radiated power. It was not just technology, it was human engineering, honed over thousands of years. Each ship seemed capable of controlling entire regions of space. Rumors spread among the people of the Alliance. Traders whispered of humans returning. Scientists argued that such ships were impossible to build. Soldiers feared a threat that no one could fight, and in secret, Varen prepared. He studied every old record he could find, every map and every fragment of human history. He began to believe that humans had survived by becoming invisible, by moving to the outer edges, beyond the eyes of every known race. They were hidden, silent, and patient. On one quiet night, a council meeting was called. The signal was stronger than ever. Every screen in the chamber showed the outer space images from Zara's station. The council members gasped. The ships were real. Thousands of them floated just outside the Alliance's border. They were lined up in formation, ready, but their intentions were unknown. Some council members panicked, calling for immediate attacks. Others wanted to flee. Varen stood quietly watching the screens. He could see the human design, the symmetry, the careful placement of each ship. Humans were not reckless. They were precise. They were waiting for something. Suddenly the ships moved, not toward war but toward a single world. Sensors showed no weapons fired, communications channels opened, and a voice spoke in perfect human language. "We are here," the voice said. "We are human." "We have returned." Silence filled the chamber. The council members stared at the screen, unable to speak. The myths were no longer myths. Humans existed, and they were stronger than anyone could imagine. Varen felt a mixture of fear and awe. All his studies, all his research had led to this moment. The humans were no longer shadows in old records. They were real, and they had come to the edge of the galaxy. The Alliance had been blind for thousands of years, believing legends were false, thinking humans were gone. Now the truth was clear. Humans were alive, humans were powerful, and humans had arrived with fleets so large that the Council could not comprehend the scale. Outside, the stars shone silently, but at the edge of known space, the human ships waited. Each dreadnought reflected light like a fortress in the void. Each one was a promise, a warning, and a mystery. The galaxy had dismissed humans as weak, as extinct, as imaginary. But now the galaxy would learn that legends could never be ignored, and that humans were not just survivors. They were something far greater than anyone had believed. And so, the stage was set. The quiet peace of the galaxy would end. The Alliance would have to face a reality it never expected. Varen watched as the human fleets moved, feeling both dread and hope. The humans had returned, and the story of the forgotten species was about to become real. The human fleets moved slowly through the empty darkness at the edge of known space. Thousands of dreadnoughts glided like silent shadows, each one huge and strong. Their shapes were simple, but they were powerful. The Alliance had never seen ships like these. They did not shine like the Alliance's ships. They were dark and smooth, but they carried an aura of strength that made even the largest alien vessels look fragile. Inside one of the lead ships, Commander John Carter stood on the bridge. He was tall and broad, with hair that had begun to turn gray at the temples. His eyes were calm, but they held a spark of determination. Around him, other humans moved efficiently, working at stations with quiet precision. The ship's crew included Alex Morgan, a navigator with sharp instincts, and Emma Brooks, a communications officer who handled every signal and message. They were not soldiers in the ordinary sense. They were humans who had survived, who had learned patience, and who had prepared for this moment for thousands of years. "Commander," Alex said, pointing to a holographic map, "we are close to the first border system." "Sensors show Alliance patrols moving toward us. They have no idea what they are facing," John nodded. Let them come. We are not here to destroy them. We are here to remind them humans exist. Emma looked uneasy. Some of them might attack immediately. They will not understand our intentions. John smiled faintly. Then we will make them understand without firing a shot. That is what humans do best. Wait, observe, and act with precision. Far away in the Alliance capital, panic had grown. Council members argued loudly, each trying to decide how to respond. Some wanted to send the largest fleets at once. Others wanted to hide, to retreat to the inner systems. No one knew what humans wanted. Elder Torin's eyes were wide with worry. We cannot fight what we do not understand, he said. If humans exist, they are not like anything we have faced. Their strength could end us. Lieutenant Zara worked day and night on the signals from the edge of space. She studied every human transmission, every image of their ships. She had never seen technology like this. Each dreadnought seemed almost alive, built not for war alone, but for control and endurance. They are thinking, she said to her assistant. These are not simple war machines. Each one is planned, measured. Humans are not reckless. Meanwhile, John Carter and his fleet approached the first inhabited world near the border. It was a medium-sized planet with blue oceans and green lands. The people there were unaware that humans were returning. They had long believed the legends were false. Their fleet was small, just a few patrol ships that tried to guard the system. The human dreadnoughts slowed as they entered orbit. The planet's sensors picked them up instantly. Panic spread through the planetary command center. Unknown ships, a young officer shouted. They are enormous, prepare defenses. But John Carter had no intention of attacking. He sent a single message to the planet. The words were simple, clear, and in the old human language. We are human. We have returned. We do not seek war. We are here to observe and protect if needed. The planetary command center paused. Few understood the language, but translation systems began to work. The message repeated in all local dialects. Council members on the planet stared at the screens. Could it be true? Humans, long gone, were back, and they were not attacking. The first patrol ship tried to approach a human dreadnought to test it. Its weapons powered on, its engines moved fast. But as it came closer, the human ship emitted a wave of energy. It did not fire a missile or beam. It only disabled the patrol ship's engines, stopping it in place without harm. The patrol ship drifted, powerless but intact. On the bridge of the human dreadnought, Commander John watched calmly. Do not destroy what does not threaten us, he said. Humans protect, they do not needlessly destroy. The planet's council finally gathered, fear written on every face. Elder Saren, the head of the council, spoke carefully. If this is true, humans are no longer legends. They are here, and they are more powerful than we could imagine. On the ships themselves, the humans moved quietly. Each crew member knew their role. Humans did not panic under pressure. When small attacks came, they countered them with precision. When Alliance scouts tried to spy on the fleet, humans let them approach, only to block their scans and leave them unharmed. Each action taught the galaxy a lesson. Humans were in control, and control did not require destruction. Back on the human fleet's command ship, John Carter addressed his officers. We will continue our journey toward the center of known space. Our fleets are hidden no more. Every race will learn that humans survived, and every race will remember why legends exist. Alex Morgan studied the holographic map. Commander, the Alliance will respond. Some might send fleets, others might try diplomacy. We cannot predict their moves. John nodded. Let them come, let them send their fleets. Every move they make shows us their weakness. Humans are patient, humans wait, we do not rush. We act only when the time is right. Meanwhile, on a small research world, scientists scrambled to understand the human technology. Each dreadnought was simple in appearance, but every system was advanced, durable, and efficient. It was not just technology, it was human ingenuity shaped over thousands of years. A young scientist named Lara Kin studied the ship designs. They are not reckless. Each weapon, each shield, each engine is planned. They think differently. They are humans. They survived because they plan, because they endure. On the edge of known space, the first reports came back from Alliance patrols. Entire fleets had fled without firing a shot. Humans did not destroy, they only demonstrated power. And the demonstration was overwhelming. 10,000 dreadnoughts could move silently, stop entire fleets, and remain untouchable. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Commander John knew the demonstration had to continue. His fleet moved from system to system, showing presence, not aggression. Communication channels opened slowly. Humans spoke to planetary leaders, explaining their return, offering protection, offering guidance. Some worlds accepted the message with hope. Others were terrified. But all understood one thing clearly: humans were real and humans were powerful. Back at the Alliance capital, council members debated loudly. Some wanted to prepare for war immediately. Others wanted to negotiate. Elder Torin's tentacles trembled as he spoke. "We cannot fight humans. If they wished, they could destroy every fleet in this sector. And yet they only show themselves. What is their purpose? We must find it before it is too late." Lieutenant Zara worked tirelessly to track the human fleets. She sent reports to the council, warning them to prepare for anything. "They do not act like other species," she said. "They are patient, precise, and stronger than anything we know. They do not need war, yet they could crush us completely if they wished." Meanwhile, humans continued to move quietly. They landed on uninhabited worlds to study resources, repair ships, and prepare for further contact. Crews worked day and night, not for conquest, but to be ready. They had waited thousands of years for this moment. Humanity had survived in hiding, building fleets and knowledge, preparing for the galaxy that had forgotten them. Emma Brooks handled the communications carefully. She sent messages of peace, but also of strength. "We are human," she said in one transmission. "We return not to rule, but to remind you. Legends are not lies, they are warnings of what can endure." As humans moved toward the center of known space, more patrols tried to challenge them. Each challenge ended the same way. The humans did not destroy unnecessarily, but they stopped every attack. The message was clear. Humans were not weak, humans were not extinct, humans were not myths. Humans had returned, and they had prepared for every possibility. Commander John reflected quietly as he looked at the stars. "We show them we exist," he said. "We show them strength, not cruelty. We show them humans endure. Legends are not just stories. Legends are truths waiting to be remembered." At the same time, small fleets from the Alliance began to flee toward inner systems, spreading news of humans' return. Panic, awe, and disbelief traveled faster than any ship. Planets that had never heard of humans before now knew their name. They remembered stories their elders had told, stories they had dismissed. And now the stories were real. Humans were real. The first systems that encountered humans slowly realized the truth. Humans were not here for war. They were here for something else, but no one knew what it was. The fleets continued to move, showing power, demonstrating control, and teaching the galaxy that survival gave a species strength beyond imagination. Even the most fearful aliens began to notice a strange pattern. Humans did not attack planets, did not steal resources, and did not destroy fleets. They acted only to show presence, only to remind the galaxy of their existence. It was a lesson that no one expected. Humans survived not because they were cruel, but because they were patient, smart, and prepared. By the end of the second month, humans had moved deeper into known space. Thousands of dreadnoughts moved in formation, slow but unstoppable. Entire worlds looked on in awe. Legends were real, myths were true. Humans had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same again. And in the quiet of space, Commander John Carter looked at the distant stars and whispered, "The galaxy forgot us once. It will not forget again." The galaxy had begun to change. Everywhere, races whispered the same word: humans. What once was a myth, a legend, was now real. Worlds that had long dismissed stories of Earth now looked up at the sky with fear and awe. Thousands of human dreadnoughts moved slowly through space, a silent army of power. They did not destroy. They only showed themselves. But the presence alone was enough to make the strongest fleets hesitate. Commander John Carter watched the galaxy from the bridge of the lead ship. His eyes were calm, steady, and full of purpose. Around him, Alex Morgan and Emma Brooks monitored communication channels and fleet positions. The humans were moving deeper into the center of known space, approaching the largest Alliance worlds. "Commander," Alex said, pointing to a holographic display, "the largest alien fleets are gathering. They are sending signals of fear. Some are fleeing, others are preparing for war. They do not understand our intentions." John nodded. "Let them prepare. It is their fear that teaches them. Humans do not fight without reason. Humans act with precision and patience. This is our advantage." In the outer systems, small alien fleets tried to challenge the humans. They came in groups of hundreds of ships, armed with weapons designed to destroy anything in their path. But when the human dreadnoughts moved, the alien ships froze. Humans did not fire. They did not attack. Instead, they demonstrated power. A single wave of energy disabled engines, sensors, and communication systems of the alien fleets. No one was harmed, but no fleet could continue. One by one, the aliens learned a lesson. Humans were not myths. Humans were unstoppable. On one world, a council of alien leaders gathered. Elder Saren of a research world, Commander Talon of a border fleet, and many others argued loudly. "We must attack," shouted Talon. "They are thousands. We cannot allow them near the inner systems." Elder Saren shook her head. "You do not understand. They do not attack. They only move. They are teaching us something. Humans survived when we thought they were gone. That means they are not weak. That means they are patient, careful, and dangerous." Across space, human dreadnoughts continued their march. Each fleet moved in perfect formation. Planets watched as the humans passed, silent and immense. John Carter spoke calmly to his officers. "We are here to remind the galaxy, not to rule it, not to conquer it, but to show that humans endure, that legends can be true, and that survival gives strength beyond imagination." Emma Brooks opened a communication channel to one of the largest Alliance worlds. The planet was crowded with ships, ready for battle, but the humans spoke clearly. "We are human," she said. "We have returned. We do not come to destroy. We come to remind you that humans exist. We can fight if needed, but we choose control over chaos, patience over rashness." The council on the alien world was silent. Some leaders were frightened. Some were confused. A few were curious. The message repeated over all channels. Humans were real, they were powerful, and they did not seek war. In another system, a fleet tried to test the humans. Several hundred alien ships approached the human dreadnoughts in a wide formation. Their weapons powered on, ready to strike. But the humans acted with precision. Without firing a shot, they used advanced systems to disable every enemy ship. Engines stopped. Sensors went dark. Weapons were rendered useless. No one died. The aliens were forced to retreat, humiliated and in awe. Commander John watched this from the lead ship. He said quietly, "Every fleet we encounter teaches the galaxy a lesson. Humans endure. Humans do not rush. Humans survive because they are careful, precise, and patient. Fear spreads faster than bullets. That is our strength." Meanwhile, Lieutenant Zara at the Alliance capital worked tirelessly to track the human fleets. She sent reports to Elder Torin and the Council. "Their technology is unlike anything we know," she said. "Their dreadnoughts can control entire regions of space without firing a weapon. Every fleet we try to challenge fails. We cannot fight them. They are not just ships. They are humans, and humans survive at all costs." Across the galaxy, worlds began to reconsider old stories. The myths of humanity, once laughed at, were now reality. Traders, scientists, soldiers, and civilians all began to share the same idea. Humans had returned, and the galaxy could no longer ignore them. On the human fleet's bridge, John Carter gave orders. "We continue moving forward. Every fleet we encounter will learn the same lesson. Humans are real, they endure, they survive, and they will protect themselves and others when needed." Alex Morgan looked at the map. "Commander, some worlds may still attack us." "They will not understand our message." John smiled. "Let them try. Every challenge teaches the galaxy. Every test shows the difference between survival and fear. Humans do not fight recklessly. Humans fight only when necessary. That is why we survived while others forgot us." As the fleets moved deeper into known space, more worlds sent messages. Some were requests for help, others were warnings to stay away. John's fleet responded carefully. No world was attacked. No fleet was destroyed. Humans showed power, patience, and control. The message spread. Humans were back, and humans were not to be underestimated. On a small desert planet, children watched the sky as massive ships passed overhead. They had heard stories of Earth, of humans who once lived among the stars. They thought it was fiction. Now they saw dreadnoughts that dwarfed any ship in their fleet. Some children cried in fear, others in wonder. The humans were real. Legends were real. Commander John reflected quietly. "We return not for revenge. We return not for glory. We return to remind the galaxy what humans can endure. Legends are not lies. Legends are truths waiting to be remembered." On the alien side, fleets began to reorganize. Planets that once considered attacking humans now feared doing so. Messages were sent to the inner systems. "Prepare defenses. Humans are real. They do not attack, but their power is unmatched." Even the bravest commanders hesitated. No one wanted to test the humans after seeing what happened at the borders. Meanwhile, the human fleet continued to advance. Each dreadnought was a fortress in space. Each fleet moved with the patience of a predator that waited for the perfect moment. Every action, every communication, every presence of the humans reminded the galaxy of their survival. Emma Brooks spoke to planetary councils with calm authority. "We are human. We have returned. We survived while the galaxy forgot us. Our fleets are vast because we endured, because we prepared, because we did not give up. We do not attack unless necessary. We protect. We endure. Remember this? Even the smallest fleets that tried to challenge the humans learned quickly. Without firing, the humans could stop them, disable them, and leave them unharmed. The demonstration repeated across systems. Fear spread faster than fire. Respect followed quickly. Humans were no longer myths. Humans were reality, and reality was stronger than anyone had imagined. Commander John watched quietly as a small alien fleet tried to approach one of the planets under his protection. They came with weapons ready, engines firing at full speed. The human dreadnoughts moved like shadows, cutting them off without violence. The alien fleet had no choice but to retreat. "Do you think they understand now?" asked Alex Morgan. John shook his head. "Some will understand, some will never understand. That is why we continue. Humans endure. We move forward, we show strength, and we wait. Every lesson takes time, but the galaxy will remember." Lieutenant Zara continued to report to the Alliance. "Every fleet we send fails. They are stopped without harm. They are outmatched without a fight. I do not know how to prepare for humans. Their strength is not just in weapons. It is in endurance, in patience, in strategy. They survived when we thought they were gone, and now they are here." Across the galaxy, a strange feeling began to grow. The legend of humans had become real. Stories of courage, endurance, and survival that once seemed impossible were now facts. Children, students, soldiers, and leaders alike began to tell the same story. Humans were back, humans were powerful, and humans were not to be challenged lightly. On the human command ship, John Carter looked at the stars. "We remind the galaxy not with destruction, but with survival. Legends are not always stories. They are warnings of what can endure. We are human. We endure, and we will continue to endure." The human fleets continued their march, moving deeper into the galaxy. 10,000 dreadnoughts glided silently, each one a symbol of survival, strength, and patience. Alien fleets watched in fear, respect, and awe. No one attacked. No one dared. The message was clear: humans are not myths. Humans are real. Humans endure. And so the galaxy began to understand. Humans, once forgotten, once dismissed as legends, had returned. They had returned not for conquest, not for revenge, but to show that survival, patience, and determination could make a species more powerful than any fleet, more respected than any legend. Commander John Carter looked at his fleet and whispered, "The galaxy believed we were gone. Now it will remember. Humans endure, and we will not be forgotten again." The galaxy was no longer the same. Everywhere, races whispered the same word with a mixture of awe and fear: humans. For thousands of years, humans had been a legend, a story dismissed by scholars and ignored by soldiers. Now they were real. 10,000 human dreadnoughts moved through the stars, not destroying, not conquering, but teaching the galaxy a lesson. Humans endure. Commander John Carter stood on the bridge of the lead dreadnought, watching the vast star systems ahead. Around him, his officers moved quietly, efficiently, each one focused on their tasks. Alex Morgan studied maps and fleet positions, while Emma Brooks monitored communications across dozens of systems. Every human ship moved with care, with control, and with a purpose that no alien race had seen before. "Commander," Alex said, "reports from the inner systems indicate fear and awe. Many fleets are refusing to move. Some planets are asking for our protection. Others are requesting dialogue. They finally see humans are not myths." John nodded. "Let them see, let them learn. Humans do not fight without reason. Humans act with patience, strategy, and control. This is how we survived. This is how we endure." But the humans were not only here to show power. Far beyond the known space, a threat stirred, older than any race, older than the Alliance itself. Massive shadows moved in the dark, ships older than time, built by a species that had survived long before humans. Their intentions were unknown, but their power was undeniable. This was a force that could crush worlds without effort. Even the Alliance fleets, now trembling before humans, feared what lay beyond the edge of known space. John called his officers together. This is why we are here. The galaxy will face challenges beyond imagination. We survived when the galaxy forgot us. Now we will stand to protect it. Emma Brooks sent messages to dozens of planetary councils. We are human, she said. We have returned. We endure not for power, but for survival. The galaxy faces a threat that even we cannot ignore. We are here to help. Across the stars, humans began to organize defenses. Dreadnoughts formed walls in space around inhabited worlds. Smaller ships moved swiftly to monitor alien fleets. Humans trained aliens who wished to fight alongside them, sharing knowledge, technology, and strategies. No species was forced to join, but all were invited. Humans did not conquer, they led by example. Lieutenant Zara at the Alliance capital watched the unfolding events with disbelief. Reports came in faster than anyone could process. Worlds that had once laughed at humans now relied on them. Fleets that had fled now returned to ask for guidance. Even the council members who had doubted Varen now accepted the truth. Humans were real, and humans were the galaxy's new guardians. In one system, a fleet of alien ships approached, weapons ready. Humans did not fire. Instead, they formed a protective barrier around civilian worlds, signaling their intentions clearly. The alien fleet, intimidated and confused, retreated without a fight. The message spread. Humans could defend, but they did not attack without cause. Survival, not domination, was their goal. Commander John addressed his fleet. We continue forward. We will face challenges, but we do not act recklessly. We protect, we endure, and we teach the galaxy that survival gives strength. Every fleet we encounter learns this lesson. Every world we protect understands it. Alex Morgan studied the holographic maps, tracking both human and alien movements. Commander, sensors show the ancient fleet approaching. They are unlike anything we have faced before. Their numbers are enormous. They move with purpose and precision. John's eyes narrowed. Then we must be ready. Humans survive by planning, by enduring, by acting with patience. We will meet them not with fear, but with strategy. We will show the galaxy that humans protect and that humans endure. Far away, the ancient fleet appeared at the edge of known space. Massive ships, older than anything recorded, moved silently, casting shadows over star systems. The Alliance fleets panicked, unsure how to react. Worlds sent messages begging for humans to protect them. The humans responded immediately, moving fleets into formation, creating defensive walls around inhabited planets. The first contact between humans and the ancient fleet was tense. The massive ships moved slowly, almost arrogantly, testing human patience. John Carter watched from the lead ship. We do not attack first, we wait, we observe. Humans endure, and we will not act recklessly. Our strength is in our control. Small skirmishes occurred, but humans avoided destruction. They used energy fields to block attacks, to redirect hostile fire, and to protect civilians. Every move demonstrated power and precision. Even the oldest fleets of the galaxy, which had once ruled the stars, were no match for the humans' discipline and strategy. On one planet, children and adults alike watched as humans formed massive walls in space. They could see the dreadnoughts lined up like fortresses, moving slowly but deliberately. Messages from humans reached every planet. We endure, we protect, we survive. Legends are real, and survival gives strength beyond imagination. Across the galaxy, the Alliance Council struggled to understand. Elder Torin spoke to the Council in fear. They do not fight recklessly, they protect, they teach, they endure. We have never seen a species like this. If humans wished, they could destroy us. Yet they do not. What are they? Lieutenant Zara responded. They are humans. They survived when the galaxy forgot them. They lead not by fear, but by example. Their strength is in patience, strategy, and control. They endure because they plan, and they endure because they survive. Meanwhile, humans work to unite willing alien species. They shared knowledge, coordinated fleets, and trained officers to fight alongside them. Worlds that once feared humans now accepted them as leaders. Humans were not gods, but they were guardians. Commander John reflected quietly. We survived when no one believed in us. Now we guide, we protect, and we endure. The galaxy may face older, stronger enemies, but humans survive. That is our lesson. That is our truth. The ancient fleet grew bolder. Its massive ships moved closer to inhabited worlds. Some fired small attacks, testing human defenses. Each attack was blocked with precision, no planet harmed, no ship destroyed unnecessarily. The galaxy watched in awe. Humans had survived not by killing, but by controlling, by protecting, by enduring. Emma Brooks sent a calm message to all nearby fleets. We are human. We protect, we endure. Every attack you see is blocked, every fleet that challenges us is stopped. We do not act recklessly, we teach that survival gives strength. On the human dreadnoughts, crews worked tirelessly. Every energy shield, every weapon system, every sensor was monitored, adjusted, and controlled. Humans had spent thousands of years preparing for this moment, and their preparation showed. Even the Alliance fleets learned quickly. They saw that attacking humans was impossible without destruction. They saw that humans could stop fleets without harming them. They realized that humans survived because they planned, because they endured, and because they acted with precision. Commander John knew the galaxy was changing. The old order is gone, he said. Legends are real, humans survive, the galaxy will remember our purpose is not conquest, our purpose is protection, our purpose is to endure. As the ancient fleet launched a major attack, humans responded. They moved in perfect coordination, creating walls of defense around key planets. Smaller human ships acted as scouts and interceptors. Dreadnoughts formed unbreakable barriers. The ancient fleet could not harm civilians, could not destroy key positions. Every move humans made was controlled, precise, and deliberate. Alex Morgan spoke quietly. Commander, they are strong, but they do not understand our strategy. Humans endure. We will hold them. John nodded. Let them test us. Humans survive not because they destroy, but because they endure. Every challenge teaches the galaxy, and every move shows our strength. Across the galaxy, worlds watched in awe. Humans had proven the truth of their legends. They survived when others thought them gone. They returned with 10,000 dreadnoughts, not to rule, not to conquer, but to protect. And finally, after long hours of tense conflict, the ancient fleet retreated. It had tested humans, but humans had endured. No planet was lost. No fleet was destroyed unnecessarily. Humans had shown that survival, patience, and control were greater than raw power. Commander John looked at his fleet. We protect, we endure, and we survive. The galaxy will never forget. Humans are real, humans are strong, humans endure. Emma Brooks sent a final message to the galaxy. We have returned, we protect, we endure. Legends are not lies, we are human, we survive. And we will continue to protect the galaxy, not for power, not for glory, but because survival gives strength, and strength brings responsibility. The Alliance Council, once fearful, now accepted the truth. Humans were no longer myths. They were guardians. The galaxy had changed forever. Children looked to the stars and saw the dreadnoughts moving in formation, massive and silent. Planets celebrated the return of humans. The legend had become reality. Humans were alive. Humans endured. Humans had returned to teach the galaxy that survival, patience, and wisdom were the greatest powers of all. And in the quiet of space, Commander John Carter whispered, "The galaxy once forgot us. Now it will remember. Humans endure, and we will never be forgotten again."